What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another Limitless Pilot live stream. I know it's been a while since we've done one. I think the last one we did was back in April, but it's been pretty crazy the last couple months here since we've done a stream. So I figured I would jump right back into it and bring one back to the channel and hopefully get everything going back again like we were, at least doing a stream every week. Been traveling a lot actually for work. Even though we've been dealing with this coronavirus pandemic, so I've been extremely busy lately, and with school, I just haven't had the time to get into doing any flying or flight stream. Also, on another side note, I've been working on getting my private pilot's license, so that's been taking up a good amount of my time as well. I figured I would take the experience that I'm getting from the simulator and apply it in real world. But without further ado, let's talk about what we're doing today. So today we're going to be flying in the Rotate MD-80. This is the MD-90 variant, the retired MD-90 from Delta. As you can see, we're flying Delta Airlines. We're going to be flying out of Miami up to Jacksonville. It's pretty busy here at Miami. I'm not sure if there's an event going on. We got a plane landing right here. We are on VATSIM, if you can't tell. But let's just zoom out here and give you guys a look at what the airport looks like right here and just how busy it is. There is a lot of traffic here, a lot of planes. Not sure what's going on, but we're going to enjoy it nonetheless. Looks like for whatever reason I wasn't picking up what we were doing. Alright, so we'll try that again. So, we'll zoom out here, give you guys a good look at what's going on here. Lots of traffic. Anyways, we got absolutely nothing set up in this MD-80. So we're going to go ahead and get everything going with that. Only thing I've got going on is the batteries connected, the ground power units connected, and that's about it. Alright, so got my checklist here. I did make a checklist for this plane, which I think is pretty cool because it this helps me fly this plane. This is a pretty complex plane to fly. At least getting used to it. The very first time that I flew this plane, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. It's kind of allowed us to do what we need to do. So real quick, let me show you guys what our coverage looks like. So as you can see, we got a lot of flights going in here. 18 coming out right now out of Miami, and 11 arrivals, or 18 departures, 11 going on, I'm not really sure, but then we're going to have coverage all the way up to Jacksonville. Jacksonville just got on not too long ago, so we should be good as far as coverage goes there. Alright, so in the cockpit here, the first thing that we need to do is flip the checklist over, and we're going to be doing our documents and charts. So if we open up AviTab, I don't actually have the chart downloaded, so I'm not gonna bother with that right now, but we will go ahead and get all of the departure stuff set up. Our route for today is we're going to be doing airport here. Let's get there. Oops. Airport info in. As you can see us there. We're going to be doing the HEDLY 2 departure. So we'll get that selected, HEDLY 2. And then as we're in cruise, we'll go ahead and get the rest of the charts into Jacksonville. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Well, might as well. Nothing's stopping us. Jacksonville. We'll at least get our arrival chart in there. So we're going to be doing the Cuban 1 arrival, and then I'll figure out the approach once we get a little bit closer. Alright, so we're going to close this now, and we'll begin setting up our plane here. So we got our documents and charts, our circuit breakers. We're going to just check those, look good. Real quick, nothing's going to be popped out. It never is, but we'll take a look at it just for the sake of doing it. All those look good as far as I can tell. Okay, cockpit voice recorder, we're going to test that, and all we're looking for up here is just a little bit of movement with the needle, so you can see it goes into the good. Engine fire detection systems, that's going to be up here at the top. All we're looking for is that these are all set to both, and they are. Parking brake is set. We will double check that. Out is set. Okay, good. Doors are all open. Batteries on and locked. Ground power is connected. External power, left and right buses are on. Cockpit lights, we'll go ahead and get these turned up. I like to have it nice and bright in here, even though it's the middle of the day. And then we'll get our fuel and weight once we get all these lights turned on. Alright, lights are on. Let's see, can we get some more panel lights? We'll get this plane lit up. And let's check our pedestal here. Alright, and we're looking good there. Okay, fuel and weight is next, so we'll go into here. We've got everything opened up with this. Now we'll just take a look at our fuel for today. Our block fuel is going to be in pounds today. So fuel tanks, we're going to take 18,921 pounds. And if you put it in fuel, it automatically splits it up for you, which is nice. And then the same with the total payload, it'll put the passengers and everything in there. So we'll go down to our passengers now, or our payload, and we're taking 33,600 pounds, and that's going to split up our passengers. Our trip fuel for today, if we go back up and look, we want to have enough for about 15 minutes continuous around the airport, plus trip distance to Jacksonville. So with that, we're looking at doing some quick math here, about 10,000 roughly pounds, and then that's good. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and start the loading process of our passengers and cargo. And it says 24 minutes. What I've found is I can get this plane set up and ready to go quicker than that, so we're probably going to expedite that when it's all said and done. But we'll go ahead and continue setting up. So we've got our fuel and weight on board. Now it's time to do our fuel pump for our APU startup procedure. So we're going to get our right, aft, and forward pumps on. We'll turn our start pump on, and we'll begin to get our APU started up, and we'll see this start to rise here. While that's going, we're going to get our we're going to jump down to our panel here, and we're going to get our position strobe set to on, and then we'll do our ground proximity warning tests, wind shear, and all those good tests. Alright, so there's the wind shear.
Pull up, terrain. Pull up, sink rate.
Ground proximity, let's see, circuit breakers. We're going to go ahead and turn our low light on. It is actually storming a little bit. Thunderstorm lights will turn on. Stall test. Okay. Okay, so wind shear, stall test, panel lights test. So we'll get that checked real quick. All that looks good. Wonderful. And our APU started up at this point, so we'll switch over to our APU buses. There's no reason to turn off the external left and right buses. And then we will turn our APU air on, which turns on our air conditioning. Then we're going to turn off our start pump, and we will disconnect the ground power unit. Okay. Logo lights are on, panel lights checked. Anti-skid, we're going to make sure that is armed, and it is. Yaw damper is going to come on. Okay, and it was already on, so that's good. Just wanted to check that. IRS mode, we're going to go ahead and get those set to nav. And then real quick, we'll go ahead and contact clearance delivery, which is on 135.9, and we will get our delivery. So I'm going to go ahead and write down what I know we're doing today, just so that we can kind of speed that up. HEDLY 2. HEDLY. Our cruise is going to be 340. Departure is, there's a lot of departures on there, so we don't know who that's going to be. So we'll just go ahead and switch over to what we need to be on right now, which is 135.35. 135. 350. Oh, and then let's actually check our ADIS real quick. 119.15.
Aerial navigation departure confirmed first fix with tower. North of 2 airmen. Numerous cranes vicinity airport. Check current NUDM. Operate crank west mode C on taxiways and runways. Operate mode C only when ready to push. Bird activity vicinity airport. Hazardous weather information for MEA area available from ATC. All aircraft read back all hold short instructions and assigned altitude. CPDLCDCL service operational. Advise on initial contact. You have information alpha.
Alright, so it's information alpha. We're going to go ahead and
Miami International Flare for perspective information alpha 2107 Zulu. West 210 at Niner. Visibility 10. Light rain. Few clouds at 2,600. 6,000 carried. Ceiling 10,000 broken. 25,000 overcast. Temperature 26. 2.23. Altimeter 29906. Approaches are being conducted to power runways. Arrivals expect ILS runway 26 left. ILS runway 27. Localizer DME runway 26 right. Departing runway 26 left. 26 right. 27. Runway 30 closed. Aerial navigation departure confirmed first fix with tower.
Zero departure. Clearnance 5000, expect 380, 1 terminal hot departure. Squad 1437, American flight.
American 1040, read back correct. Pushing start at pilot's discretion. Expect runway 27 and call me for taxi.
Runway 27, I will call ground for taxi, American 1040. For David.
American 1040, call this frequency for taxi.
I'm sorry, call you in this frequency for taxi.
Good evening, Miami. Delta 1848 looking for IFR up to Jacksonville with information alpha.
Delta 1848, Miami delivery. Clear to the Jacksonville airport via the HEDLY 2 departure. Then it's filed, maintain 5,000, expect flight level 340. 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 119.45, squawk 1425.
Clear to Jacksonville, HEDLY 2 as filed, maintain 5,000 up to flight level 340, 10 minutes after departure. Departures on 119.45 and squawk 1425, Delta 1848.
Delta 1848, read back correct. Push your start at pilot's discretion and expect runway 26 left, call me for taxi.
Roger, push and start at our discretion. We'll expect 26 left and call you for taxi, Delta 1848. Alright.
Delivery American 2457, ready for taxi.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and continue getting that set up. While we were getting our ADIS, I went ahead and set this just so it could do what it needed to do without having any issues. So our IRS is aligning air conditioning. Let's go ahead and get that on real quick, just for the plain pneumatic cross valves. Those are going to go to on. Pneumatic cross valves, radio rack ventilation, that'll go to fan. And landing altitude and pressurization, that's set roughly for what it needs to be. Emergency lights will become arm, fasten seatbelts will come on. And our smoking sign, our windshield anti-fog will come on, anti-ice will come on for our windshield. Engine anti-ice as needed. Temperature is 26, so it will not be needed right now. METAR selector, we're going to go to wrap probe. That's basically just going to confirm that the gear is down when that's set at 0, and then we'll go back to Captain. And our audio levels, we set those. Alright, so now we're going to turn on our flight directors. We're going to put ERP limiter. And then we'll go ahead and get this set up here. So he told us 5,000 for our initial. And we're going to expect 26 left. So if we look at the charts here, we're going to go 26 left. So we'll get that heading, departure 272. So we'll put that in there. 272. Speed, we'll come back to our speed here once we get our FMC programmed, but we'll go ahead and jump it up for a minute. I know it's going to be somewhere around there. And thrust setting is going to be set for takeoff. And then we're going to go down into this and get everything programmed. So we're going to go to Jacksonville, KJAX. Flight number Delta 1848. We'll go ahead and activate that and execute it. Our departure is going to be on runway 26 left, HEDLY 2, HEDLY transition, no transition there, that's alright. And then our arrival, HEDLY, we're going, so that's got HEDLY in there. I'm not sure what this next one is. S Sierra Tango Yankee Mike. Yankee STYMY, I guess. Dark STYMY. And direct ORL, which I think is Orlando Executive. And then from there, we'll put in our arrival, which is going to be, let's see, if we take the wind information that we have on our charts here. Let's see, arrival, the wind is 120 at 5.6. So if we take a look at that, 120, and we go to JAX, airport info 120. I'm going to say that we're likely going to come in runway 14. So that's what we'll put in, ILS 14. We are doing the Cuban 1 via HAINY. And then we will execute that. Now if we take a look at our routes here, we'll just double check. HAINY is our next. Okay, so then we'll go to legs here and we will bring that up. HAINY, execute that. We'll go to our next page here. OTAR. I'm just going to get rid of the vectors. I always like to just punch it in. They can give us vectors if they need to, but if anything happens, the plane's going to do what it needs to. So real quick now, let's check our flight plan over here. The IRSs should be aligned at this point, so we'll go this all the way over to, whoops. That's going to go to plan. And we'll just step through this, make sure it looks fine. And that looks perfect. Alright, so we'll put that back to map. Okay, so our route is set, our performance initialization, cost index today. It's going to be 77. Our reserves is quick math here. 42, 28, 7 on the dot, 0 fuel weight. Let's double check that our fueling is done, and it looks like it is. Yep, fuel is done. Cruise altitude 340. And then let's get our winds. So it doesn't automatically do that. So wind is 036 at 12. So 36-12. Deviation 13. Plus 13 minus 40. Okay. Execute that. Takeoff is going to be 26 outside air temperature for our takeoff. Got that set. Our CG is going to be 17. We're going to go flaps 11. And then we will get our trim all the way down here to about 6.5. Alright, so our trim set, we'll go back over to here, we'll get our speeds now. 157 is our takeoff, so we're going to add 15 to that, and that is going to give us 172 for our speed on the FMC, or FM, whatever this thing is called, MCP. And then at this point, we've got our position. We need to get our zero fuel weight set. So let's go back to our performance page and get our zero fuel weight, which is 127.5 or 108.7, and we're going to go ahead and put that in right here for our zero fuel weight. .7, got that set. Let's take a look at getting BetterPushback set.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
So we'll get them driving up to us and ready to go. Flip over our thing here. Performance, CG, flaps, trim, and take off. Everything is set there. Wonderful. Alright, now before engine start, we need to turn in the engine hydraulic pumps to high. Transfer pump on. Auxiliary pump on. Transponder is going to be set, which our transponder code is 1425. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and set that to mode C already. Transponder set. Anti-collision lights will let them know we are about ready to go.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. ready to connect.
Except they are not, so we're going to expedite that. So that was about 18 minutes of getting ready. We'll go ahead and start to close up all of our doors here. So if we hop outside now, we should see all that's closing up. Very busy, lots and lots of traffic here. Probably more so than in real life, but things are picking up as far as traveling and everything goes. Okay, so let's see here. Pushback planning set, doors are closed, fuel pumps, they will come on at this point. Air conditioning supply will go off and
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
ignition selector is going to get set to both. We'll get those opened up and we're ready to go.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
So we are going to look for the rise there on that. We're looking for about 18 before we introduce fuel here, but we'll go ahead and add that in there. And we're going to go ahead and flip the other one.
Traffic Walker 108 through flight level 220 for
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Alright, we'll set our parking brake and we'll go fuel on for
Disconnecting
this
tow.
other one.
Stand by.
And we'll see that start to spool up. Alright, engines are started. So we'll go ahead and turn off our engine starters. Off APU. Alright, engine starters off, APU is going to come off. Air conditioning supply is going to come back on. Galley power is going to come on. Ignition selector is going to go to off.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Miami Delta 1848 is ready to taxi.
Delta 1848, contact ground 121.8, let them know you're at spot 9.
121.8 and we'll let them know where it's spot 9, Delta 1848.
Speedbird 209 Bravo, welcome to Miami. Taxi via Mike, Juliet, Horseshoe, Papa.
Taxi Mike, Juliet, Horseshoe, Papa, Speedbird 209 Bravo.
American 2486, right to November, no delay, to the gate today.
Right, November, American 46, have a good one.
American 311 behind American 738, crossing left to right, November to the gate today. 7
Man.
Kilo Bravo.
Pretty busy.
Taxi to the gates via Juliet, Quebec, Papa. Good day. Juliet, Quebec, Papa to the gates. Speedbird 170 Kilo Bravo, thanks for up and have a good one. Speedbird 209er Bravo, taxi to the gates via Mike, Juliet, Quebec, Papa. Good day.
Mike, Juliet, Quebec, Papa, on 5 you, Speedbird 209 Bravo.
Miami Ground Delta 1848, ready taxi 26 left, gate 9.
Miami Ground, good day, 00331 with you, vacating 27.
All aircraft standby. The Delta airline calling for taxi second.
Yeah, Delta 1848 to where it's spot 9, looking for taxi 26 left.
Delta 1848, runway 26 left, taxi via November 10, Mike 11.
November 10, Mike 11, Delta 1848.
American 2486, do me a favor to make the next flight into a gate as possible. We'll have a Delta coming out into November there in front of you.
Alright, so
Alright, we'll show
parking
it
brake
like
is
that.
off. Flaps, we're going to go ahead and get those set down to 11 real quick. Auto
Miami
brakes.
Ground, JetBlue 341, vacated 27 on Tango Tree.
JetBlue 341, welcome to Miami. Taxi to the gate via Tango, cross the 30 at Tango. Tango, pop in the gate, good day.
On and armed for that.
Taxi to the ramp via Tango, cross runway 30 at Tango, and then Tango
Spoilers
back to the
armed.
gate, JetBlue 341.
Nose lights will come on.
41, do me a favor, Tango, hold short, runway 30 at Tango.
Tango, hold short, runway 30 at Tango, JetBlue 341.
Alright, so flaps are set to 11. Nose lights are on.
And Miami Ground, the departure, well, the taxi in Delta is cleared. I'm just going to take a spot from American 2486.
Attention all aircraft frequency. As of this time, Miami Tracon is fully closed. Again, Miami Tracon is fully closed. Everybody from clearance delivery all the way up to center has been closed. Please monitor Unicom 122.8 for further ATC amongst yourself. Again, monitor Unicom 122.8 for further ATC amongst yourself. Again, Miami clearance, Miami Tower, Miami ground, Miami Tower, Miami departure, approach, and center of all closed. Have a good day. Thank you very much for flying on the event, and a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, American.
Thank you, good evening.
Have a good day.
Well, that is a bummer. What do you mean by the AD map? I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about there in the chat. So we'll go ahead and switch over to Unicom real quick.
Miami traffic, United 1543, spot 21 taxiing Quebec 8 to runway 27 for departure. Miami traffic.
We're supposed to take that last left, but that's alright. We'll take this one onto Mike. It's too bad that
Miami traffic, JetBlue 341, crossing runway 30, Tango Papa to the ramp.
so we got landing aircraft on 26 left 2, so have to be a little bit courteous to that. If you're talking about the how I'm seeing the VATSIM coverage, I'm not sure if that is what you're talking about or not. I'm using VATSpy, which occasionally it doesn't want to work, so I'll show you that real quick if that is what you're talking about.
Miami traffic, it says number 291 Quebec, entering midfield for runway 26 right. Miami traffic. Miami traffic, Speedbird 454 heavy, entering uniform, tracking to runway 27 departure, Miami.
Alright, so
Miami traffic, runway 26 left, maintain.
takeoff warning system altimeter is, we did not set that 299 or 6, so we'll go ahead and get that real quick. Okay, APU air is off. Pneumatic pressure valves, these will be closed. Flaps, pneumatic ignition selector is going to go to override, and landing lights are on, and we'll set this to alright, and we'll just check that we don't have anybody coming on final. Final looks clear. Miami traffic, Delta 1848, departing runway 26 left, Miami traffic.
Miami traffic, runway 79 on Quebec, turning base for runway 26 right, Miami traffic.
Alright, so we'll get these spooled up to about 40%. And then we are going to hit this little button for toga and auto throttle.
And Miami traffic, runway 79 on Quebec on a short line, runway 26 right.
Alright, positive rate. Gear coming up. And we're going to hit
Miami traffic, speedway
nav.
for heavy, we'll follow the Airbus for runway 27.
I'm not sure why the autopilot always does that. We're going to go flaps up, slow down just a bit. Keep our climb out of here. We're going to go ahead and set this up to our cruise. Not sure why the auto VNav wants to do this. It wants to descend on us. So we're gonna go nav, autopilot, vertical speed. I had some issues trying to fly with the autopilot, and it does not want to work.
Miami traffic, speedbird 27, taxiing to holding point, runway 27. Miami traffic, number 7 on Quebec, clear runway 26 right. Miami traffic.
I have this problem with this aircraft quite often, unfortunately, where the autopilot wants to act really weird. I don't know what it is. But it's not even wanting to climb at all.
Miami traffic, number 91 to runway 25 pounds, gate Delta 35, taxi runway 2826 left for departure. Miami traffic.
Alright, we'll just hand flat. I guess I don't want to fly this whole flight manually, but that looks like what we're going to have to do because the autopilot is not functioning.
Traffic, Walker 108, crossing runway 28 right. Radio check, Miami traffic.
5x5.
What? Is something happened or is everyone decided to go offline? I think everyone just something happened.
Event ended, everything's closed.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so we're climbing out well over speed, way low for where we should be. We've got a lot of back pressure on it. Hopefully we can get the autopilot here to do its thing. It's set.
Miami traffic, speedboat 444 heavy is lining up runway 27, ready for departure.
I think I might have hit the wrong toga button. Yep, now we're descending again. This thing is really kind of irritating me. Well, if anybody watching knows how to turn the freaking autopilot on for this stupid plane.
Walker 108 is signing off. You all have a good one and have a safe flight.
It just does not want to work properly. Which is a pain because this is it's not fun flying these big planes when you got a list of things that you need to do all completely manually. Especially when it's not VFR conditions. But we'll do our best. It's like the auto throttle is like decided that it doesn't want to. Let's just turn all of it off. We go autopilot, ERP limiter, climb, ERP climb, and then we are going to go nav, VNav, autopilot on. I guess it would help if you turn the flight director on. Alright, so these all can come off now. Let's run through our checklist while it's not flying, it's not maintaining. But what's new? I mean, you can see the flight director paths are not following at all. This is about as annoying as it gets with the autopilot in this plane. It pretty much works when it wants and works when it doesn't want to, and we need to pick up some speed or we're going to end up stalling this plane. So real quick, let's see if we can run through this after takeoff. Gears up, flaps are up, ignition selector needs to go to off. Auto brakes, hydraulic pumps, those are going to go to low. Off, off, low, low. Okay, and then we're good to go. So if we can just figure out this autopilot issue, I'll turn off everything here. It's like it doesn't want to. So flight director's on. ERP limiter. VNav. What is this thing saying? Well, I've got no idea. Maybe do some research real quick and see if I can figure anything out. Well, very strange, but I guess I'm manually flying this plane. We'll take a look outside and see what it looks like. So let's try disabling FlyWithLau and see if that has any effect. Or have I been disabling the autopilot the whole time and just brain farting it? I think I have been, because it's flying itself right now. Oh my goodness. Noob. Autopilot up is on. Okay, well now we can sit back and enjoy the flight because the autopilot was working. I just was turning it off every time. I should have figured that out by the sound of the bell. But at least, even though we had some initial issues, may it be user or not, I still was able to get the plane climbed out. We didn't crash into the ground, and that's always good. So we don't even have Jacksonville Center online, unfortunately, anymore, which was the whole reason I kind of came online, but I guess that has part to do with the fact that that event is over. So I think we're on our way now to Orlando Executive, if we look at our legs, ORLY, yep, so about 110 miles out, nautical miles out from Orlando Executive. We guess can close up a lot of these charts here because we are way out of the range of those now. And we're going to be coming in HAINY. So hopefully Jacksonville Center will come online and we'll get a little bit of coverage. But in the meantime, we'll just enjoy the flight here. Autopilot is going, and we'll just take the scenic view. So the Rotate MD-80 was replaced. Well, not the rotated MD-80, the McDonnell Douglas MD-88 and MD-90. With Delta, they have moved over to the... why in the world are we about to stall? Can I have, like, the plane function properly? I don't know what the heck is going on. We're pitched up like 12 degrees. And you can tell the plane is like moving this way and it's not climbing at all. What is going on? Okay, let me turn off auto throttle. Yeah, it does look like we got ground and delivery. I wish this plane would function the way I've flown it so many times and had no issues at all. This plane does normally fly very beautifully, but for whatever reason, I've just had one issue after another, and it makes no sense. Slowly climbing up speed here. I'm going to pitch the nose down. And get that speed up, and then we will go into VNav. And hopefully we should look a little bit better now. Yeah, that's a much better profile. I don't know what the heck is going on. Got me beat. So I think I've flown this plane probably 8 or 10 times, and I've had this issue with the autopilot. This will be the second time. The first time I had no idea what was going on, and it was fighting me. I should have just turned it off, but it was fighting me, and I was full back pressure on the nose, and it just, or on the stick, and it would not climb at all. It was just nose diving to the ground before it finally just hit the ground and exploded, and that was the end of that. So. And that unfortunately was on an event, VATSIM event during a stream, so that one got deleted very quickly. But at least we were able to save this one this time. I kind of knew what to do, what to expect. It looks like it's about to reach that speed profile of 291. And then we should hopefully climb out a little bit better, so we should be moving along pretty level. Which we are. Slowly gaining speed there. So 250. So that's 260, 270, 280, 290. So we need to be at this red marker here. We're slowly climbing up. Let's increase our range here too. Stormy or whatever that is, I don't know. So as of right now, we are somewhere over the Everglades. Our speed finally has reached where it needs to be, so you can see that our climb rate is increasing slowly. And I'm going to increase that to our max here, just to try and get that going a little bit quicker. Been an interesting ride for these passengers, that's for sure. And let's re-enable all of our plugins. You know what we also didn't do? We didn't put our overlay up, so let's go ahead and do that. You can tell it's been a while since I've done a stream. It's been a rough start. Alright, so the autopilot's functioning properly. We're climbing, we've got our speed. Definitely appreciate you joining in. I know it's been an interesting one. Novellus C1. Hopefully the next stream that we do, probably do one tomorrow maybe, we'll see. But hopefully I'll know what the heck I'm doing tomorrow. And hopefully ground stays online, at least, while we come into Jacksonville. Not sure what this new update is for XPilot, but we've got this text message box that keeps popping up, which I don't really want. Yeah, let's change those to blue. Alright. Okay, so that is just notification bar. We don't need that. I think what I'm going to do is just drop our altitude to 320 because we are clearly not going to make 340. Very nice plane once you figure out how to fly it and have the autopilot and everything functioning properly. The next plane that I want to figure out that I bought is the, I believe it's the 787, or no, it's an Airbus A350, I believe, but that thing is crazy looking, and I could not figure out how to get that program, so I need to play around with that. I haven't really found any good videos on how to set that up either. So we're 175 miles out from Jacksonville with our flight plan. Straight line path's 148 nautical miles. And we are about to level off at 320. once we do that, we will hit our cruise button. We'll bring our throttle back slightly. So we're almost at Orlando Executive, I believe that is that. Yep, Orlando Executive. We are 17 nautical miles from Orlando Executive. And we want to be looking at our approach charts. We want to be at HAINY 240. I usually like to go with 2,000 above the lowest when we have the in-between, so we'll go 260 for this one. Now that we're leveled off,
Delta 44 is departing 1A, 18 left.
we're going to set our lowest, which is 3,000. So we are going to get ready for that. And then we'll go down into here and we'll make sure that our legs, everything is set correctly. So Orlando, HAINY we need to be 28,000 or 280, and I'm gonna set for 26,000. Okay, and then Shinner 17.5 that's good with me. Bass 280.14.9, that's also good. Hoagie 13, that's perfect. Cuban 10,500. Beetle above 5,000, so we're gonna go 7,000. So at 230, so 230, and we'll say 7,000. Execute that. Plank 4,400. Island, we gotta be at 4,000. Crissa 3,000 above, and that looks perfect. So we'll go back over to our progress page. We'll close this. We got all that set in there. The plane's gonna hit this top of descent mark here pretty soon, and it should do what it needs to do. So if we take a look down here, right below us, we have Orlando. Can't see that because of the clouds, but we're going to be flying over Orlando Executive in right now, directly above. Shout out to Ludix Aviation. See, look, there's the autopilot doing what it needs to, turning like it should. So it should hit this top of descent mark and begin its descent. The other thing that we'll do real quick is we know we're going to go ILS. Well, let's actually just double check. Our frequency for Jacksonville 8 is 125.850. Alright, so we've got information India for Jacksonville. Unfortunately, we still don't have Jacksonville Center or anything like that online. I was hoping that we would get some coverage. That's alright, we can do this. As you can see, the plane has done a great job of descending now. It's following that flight plan that we have in there. I've got it set for 3,000, so it's going to meet all of the requirements that it needs to for each step, essentially. Maintain our speed and all that. So we'll kind of just sit back and enjoy this flight here. If we look at our progress, 2316 is when we're estimated to be at Orlando, and we are 2250, so we're looking at about 36 minutes before we are completely on the ground. Hopefully our landing will look a little bit better than our takeoff did, that is for sure. It was a rough takeoff, to say the least. VATSIM, let's take a look at SimAware. So I'll just put that up here real quick, and we'll look for us there. So us Delta 1848, we can look at our flight plan. Going in, almost there. You could probably see our crazy looking departure, takeoff. Not as straight line as it should have been. Kind of flying over all the bad weather right now, which is pretty cool. But SimAware, just check this out if you haven't seen it. This is probably one of the nicest panels, or I don't know what you would call this, but a way to look at flights to me. just realized that I was talking on mute, but not too concerned about Jacksonville being closed at this point. It would have been nice to have at least Tower or Center online, but we missed our window on that one by a little bit. Would have done this flight actually about an hour earlier, but I thought I had a meeting today, which was actually scheduled for tomorrow, so if I would have been on about an hour sooner, we could have had this entire flight with coverage, but that's alright. Had too many issues to figure out during all that anyway, so we have the airport somewhere over here. Yep, there's the airport. We're just holding 3,000 at this point. We might drop it down to 2,500. I don't know why I can't get that to... So at this point we'll go ahead and drop some flaps down. Probably could have done that on our downwind. So let's go ahead and switch over to localizer. And actually the ILS at this point. And we'll drop our flaps down one more notch, down to 11. And we will make our radio call. Jacksonville traffic, Delta 1848, final runway 14, Jacksonville traffic. So I can't really see the runway just yet, which is why I haven't switched over there to manual flight. I'm going to let the ILS capture, and then we will go let the plane manage the speed here for us. I'm going to turn autopilot off as soon as we hit our Sonoya waypoint. Sweet, Jacksonville ground is open. 121.9 are cool, so we'll get ready for them. Appreciate the call out there, Novelis. I'm going to let the plane get the speed drop down here. So we'll go gear down at this point. We're going to set our speed to 126. And we'll go flaps full. Autopilot's coming off. I'm gonna manually fly it. Auto throttle will come off. A little bit low. So I don't know if you know anything about flying, but there's this thing called region of reverse command. So when you're flying a plane in real life, when you're on final like this with your flaps out, you would increase speed to adjust your altitude. So we were a little bit low, so naturally, because I fly in real life, would increase our speed to gain altitude here, but in the simulator it does not do that, so we're a little bit low, so we'll just pitch up and hopefully we don't land short of the runway. I don't know how that was a hard landing, but okay. It wasn't really a hard landing in my book. That looked pretty smooth to me, but we'll watch the replay on that and see. And did we make, yes we did. I really don't think that was a hard landing. I don't know why that did that, but nonetheless, we'll pretend that it was. We'll watch it and see. Honestly, I might have even fallen a little bit short of the runway there. Jacksonville ground, Delta 1848, clear of runway 14.
Delta 1848, taxi to the terminal via Romeo.
Terminal via Romeo, Delta 1848, thanks. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get our start pump on. We'll get our APU going. Not sure what you mean by enough there, but we'll get all our flaps cleaned up. And we're going to just take Romeo around here to the other side where that other Delta is. Not sure why all this just shut off. I'll turn the overlay off.
Back in a minute.
I just want to get over here to kind of where this other Delta is. It's typically where Delta parks at in Jacksonville. And then we'll check out the replay on that and see for ourselves what that landing looked like. I know we were a little bit low, just because I was trying to apply the laws of region of reverse command, but I think it was pretty nice looking. I think this is A14 right here. This is A8, I believe. A7. We'll bring it into A7 here. And of course, as soon as we land, tower comes online. That's typically how it goes, though. And then we'll check that. That was perfect. Parking brake sets, and engines will get powered off. And let's see if Sam World wants to connect up to I have to look into why that's not working. So, alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was a good flight, all things considered. Let's take a look at the replay and see what that looked like. Close that. Alright, so let's watch the replay here. Definitely a little bit low, a lot of bit low. Kind of recovered there. Look at that flare. That didn't look too bad to me. That's about what you would expect. We'll watch that in kind of a slow-mo. And we didn't land short of where we needed to, so that's also good. Normally, the planes would go a little bit further out, but we landed right on the 14, which that's pretty good. Hard or not, that looked like a good landing to me. Alright, so we'll watch that one time from the view here and we will call it a stream. I hope you guys enjoyed that stream. If you did, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it if you did that. Novellis, definitely shout out to you for sticking around the whole entire stream. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. I think I'm going to do another stream tomorrow. If you guys want to tune in for that, just subscribe to the channel, be on the lookout for that. But until next time, this is Josh, Limitless Pilot.